So we are ready for Monday Night Football.
What a show this man has put on tonight.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A crowd of more than 70,000 ready to welcome home their beloved Saints. And the Saints wasted no time in giving the Big Easy something to cheer about.
Look out, right through! A kick block by Steve Gleason. It is scooped and scored by Curtis DeLoach. Touchdown, New Orleans!
From there, the Saints rolled to a 23-3 win over Michael Vick's Falcons on the way to their first playoff appearance in 6 seasons. Now, once again, it's the Saints and the Falcons. Are you ready?
Over 40 years running, still a work of art. A game filled with glory, guts, and heart. One big game, 2 southern rivals. Falcons and Saints don't touch that dial. The gallery's ready, so turn up the lights. The Monday night finale is unveiled tonight. Ready? Come on and get ready. I mean really ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. This is Hank and I'm ready. Let's get this picture started. Let's take this town and do it up right. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. Sold out for the 23rd straight game. The Georgia Dome, just on the edge of downtown in Atlanta, GA. And the Falcons make this the road to Dallas in the NFC. Mike Smith, 3rd year as the head coach of the Falcons. Everybody calls him Smitty. Is the best record in the NFC over these 3 years. Opposite side, Sean Payton. Man who brought New Orleans the improbable, the once thought impossible, the Super Bowl title. 2 great parallel stories. Franchises that were down and weren't good, rebuilt, and at the top of their rebuilding right here. Pierre Thomas set to bring back the kickoff. Michael Kane to put it away. The last Monday of the year, off we go from the Georgia Dome. Deep, good hang time. No return. To the Saints, who won the toss, will get the ball starting at the 20-yard line. Here comes Drew Brees. Still a couple of games left, John. Already over 4,000 passing yards for the 5th consecutive season.
Yeah, it's not the knowledge of the game that separates Drew Brees. It's how he applies this knowledge snap after snap. 10 different receivers with 20 catches or more. I think his left knee is healthy, and he loves playing on Monday Night Football.
From the 20, Pierre Thomas. Just a couple of yards. Mike Peterson with the tackle. Drew Brees supported by this group. You'll have Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush. Both have missed half the season. Having them in the lineup so big for this playoff run. Jeremy Shosby getting pushed at the tight end spot by a rookie, Jimmy Graham. 2 of the 4 receivers, Colston and Henderson, where they spread it out. These guys need to protect well. And Jermon Bushrod has a good matchup tonight with John Abraham. Want to take your eyes off the ball for a snap or 2? That'll be good to watch. Pass is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Henderson. That Bushrod might have moved on that left side. It was not called. So chance for a 3-and-out out of the gate for the Atlanta defense. The guy who had pressure on that last one was Troy Bierman. He's a defensive end to watch. Makes an impact. Abraham's the big sack guy. Linebacking core, the veteran Peterson already a tackle. The 3rd-year man Lofton in the middle is the vocal leader. In the secondary, Dante Robinson came over from Houston as a free agent. He's been good. But Brent Grimes, listed at 5'10", he's not. Makes plays. 5 picks, big season, under the gun here tonight. Thomas the back, 3rd and 8. Brees gets it to the rookie Jimmy Graham, who's stopped by Lofton and Brian Williams. New Orleans 3-and-out out of the gate.
Well, they came out blitzing. You're going to see a blitz come right off the edge right here, and Drew Brees has to unload it quickly to Pierre Thomas, and you're going to see number 29, Brian Williams, and friends come to make this tackle. That's what the Falcons do. When they blitz, they zone blitz you. They keep vision on the football, and they're very good tacklers.
And that's a surprising blitz call. The Falcons are not a high percentage blitz, and Brees usually effective against it.
Thomas Morstead, a good kicker, unloads 50 yards. Eric Weems from the 25, taken down. Submarine, great coverage by Patrick Robinson, the rookie cornerback. 5.1 the hang time. That was a great kick by Morstead. All right, Jaws, here comes Matt Ryan. Chance with a win tonight to tie Dan Marino's record for most wins by a starter in his first 3 years.
Well, what an exceptional talent in Matt Ryan. At 6'4", 220 pounds, he can see over the line. He has outstanding mechanics. He uses the eye manipulation, John, and we all love for a young quarterback to understand that. And he is one tough cookie in the pocket.
Start with that power run. Michael Turner. Only a yard there. Very little room to operate for Turner, who is 5th in the league with his rushing total this year of 12.56 coming in. Tony Gonzalez, guaranteed Hall of Famer, along with Roddy White, who started the week leading the league in catches and receiving yards. The guys up front, early round draft picks on the left side, McClure, a veteran center in the middle, and 2 undrafted free agents who are tough and nasty. Harvey Dahl and Tyson Clabo. They are hard to deal with for opposing defenses. Ryan to the air for the first time. That was deflected at the line of scrimmage. Alex Brown, the former Bear, knocked it away. It'll be 3rd down. So the New Orleans defense off to a good start. Their turnovers, takeaways are down. They still cause confusion. Will Smith, the best pass rusher of this bunch. The linebacking core, Jonathan Vilma, struggled the last couple of games. Jolan Dunbar, by the way, starting for Danny Clark. Malcolm Jenkins in the secondary, was a corner last year, safety this year. He's been their best defender so far.
That was only the 5th deflected pass of Matt Ryan in 510 attempts this season.
3rd down. Ryan hit as he throws, incomplete. Trying to get it to Harry Douglas. And both teams, both good offenses, 3 and out to start.
You know, this Malcolm Jenkins is quite a story. Took over for Darren Sharper at safety, played there a lot this year, but in nickel situations, Greg Williams moves Jenkins into the nickel corner position. That time he locked out Harry Douglas. Malcolm Jenkins has been a great New Orleans Saint this year.
4 career punt returns for touchdown for Reggie Bush, most in team history. Michael Kanan will kick to him or away from him. We'll see. To the sideline. That is well done. Bush catches the 43-yard kick up the middle of the field. Bush pulled down to the 39-yard line. Christopher Owens and the return man, Eric Weems, made the tackle. No first down yet. 2.5 gone by. No score. Over a century, Atlantans hadn't seen this. A white Christmas here in the capital of Georgia. Snow sticking on mostly the grassy surfaces, although in the suburbs it was a little thicker. No score. Second drive, each team. Saints and Breeze start at their own 39. Play action for Breeze and complete into Falcon territory for Devery Henderson in front of Brent Grimes. First down. Gain of 14.
Yeah, Drew Brees outstanding in the play action game. And you'll see right here, once he makes the play fake, he ends up with an isolation route on the outside because the linebackers cannot buzz and undercut that route. They have to respect the running game. The fact that they've been inconsistent running the football this year has hurt Brees' production in the play action game.
Reggie Bush is the back. He was dinged on that last punt return. Brees throwing for the rookie Jimmy Graham on that right side. It's incomplete. I mentioned Reggie Bush. He's been out, missed 8 games with a fractured right fibula. Came back a couple of games ago. And back on punt return. Showed a little bit of quickness that we had not seen, but you see Reggie gesturing towards that collarbone area. When he got pulled down by Eric Weems, he landed awkwardly on that side. That's the area he was pointing to while we were away in commercial. Empty backfield, they pressure Breeze, and it's caught by Lance Moore, but only a gain of a yard. Thomas Deku, the safety, made the tackle.
That's the fourth blitz in 6 plays. And I think a big part of this game is how the Atlanta Falcons handle the New Orleans Saints' empty backfield. There are no backs, and you're going to see the blitz coming right off the edge. They're not going to let Drew Brees stand back here and pick them apart. Mike Smith, Jeff Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons, are coming after Drew Brees, a similar tactic that the Ravens used last week, and they did a good job with it.
Empty again. We'll see if the Falcons come. Here they come. Breeze got away. Found Meacham, but no gain. Well covered on the back end. Brian Williams, the nickel, made the tackle. And the Saints will be forced to punt.
They're heating them up, Jaws. They're using Lofton in the middle to try to occupy the offensive line, and then you're going to see the blitz coming from the edge. Number 25 right there, William Moore, forces Breeze to get out of the pocket. And again, good defense, pressure defense by this Atlanta Falcon defense.
And, John, I'm surprised with the pressure because in the last 3 games against Atlanta, Breeze has seen 29 blitzes. He's been 26 of 28. Pretty darn good. So far, they're getting home.
Morstead will try to pin him inside the 10. He'll do it very easily as it's caught by Patrick Robinson. He's done a good job on back-to-back punts as the gunner on the left side. It's a long field, 95 yards for Matty Ice and the Falcons here in the opening quarter. Second drive for Atlanta. First one 3 and out. This one starts at their own 5. Michael Turner, the lone back. He's a punishing runner, power runner. Gains a half dozen yards there. Michael Turner, of course, you remember him in San Diego as the understudy to LaDainian Tomlinson. Came here as a free agent, had a great year, finished second in the league in rushing at 1,699 yards. Fell off last year, but this year, right back there, having another big season.
And what Mike Smith loves about Michael Turner, he doesn't fumble the football. He hasn't fumbled in his last 403 touches. Remarkable.
There he goes again. That's a play that the Saints see often, and they read well. Jolon Dunbar was Matt Ryan's teammate at Boston College, made the tackle for the loss.
Well, the Falcons love to run the ball in this 22 personnel, 2 tight ends and 2 backs. And they're going to bring their fullback into the backfield, and they're going to try to wrap back to the weak side. But watch Dunbar, number 56, penetrate and stuff Michael Turner behind the line of scrimmage. That is huge for the Saints to get some early confidence against this Falcon running game.
Dunbar getting the start tonight for Danny Clark. After the loss, it's now 3rd and 7. The Saints show pressure. Ryan, first option's covered. Throws on the run to the sideline. That ruled a catch? No. Incomplete. Michael Jenkins did not come down with it. Darren Sharper, the great veteran in his 14th year. There is the extra DB.
The Falcons' passing game is timing and rhythm. Because Matt Ryan was outside the pocket, the timing was off. Early in the down, the Saints defense did a great job of taking away where Matt Ryan wanted to go. It forced Ryan to move out of the pocket. Late in the down, once again, the Saints cover.
Saints fans in the house chant Red G as Bush stands in the Falcon logo at midfield. Aiden, lucky to get away, got run into. We'll see if it's running into or roughing the kicker. Bush from his own 41. Going to pick up blocks. It's well covered by the Falcons, and the ball comes out on this end. And it's recovered, they say, by the Saints. Again, roughing the kickers, the automatic first down, 15 yards. Running him into him is 5 yards. And Hockley is our referee here tonight. It was 4th down and 7 yards to go. They ruled that on the field, a recovery by New Orleans. That was the first call. Matt Giordano's the guy who comes
running into the kicker, number 37, New Orleans. There was a 5-yard penalty only. The penalty is declined. New Orleans keeps the ball, first down.
They are lucky that was not blocked. He came through there clean.
Saints will take over at their own 40. Four possessions, no points so far here in Atlanta. Falcons defense giving a little bit of pressure look to Drew Brees. That's the guy dialing it up, Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator here for the Falcons.
Yeah, what we're seeing now is very vogue in the NFL, these A-gap looks. You see both linebackers trying to cause some confusion for the blocking schemes. You'll see Pierre Thomas has a tough time of who to pick up. He goes inside, he goes outside, and back inside. Brees gets pressure. Once again, single linebacker in the A-gap. Which way is Brees going to look? Which way is going to slide the line? There's a problem. Pressure on Drew Brees. Right now, Brian Van Gorder doing a nice job of creating the illusion of pressure on Drew Brees.
Saints take over at the 40. Here's Pierre Thomas trying to run to the right. Curtis Lofton, no gain.
Well, you want to get your running game going. You bring in Zach Strief, a 330-pound tight end. You bring in Torrey Humphrey, a blocking tight end. You try to slam it off the right side. These Atlanta Falcons are much improved on defense. You showed Van Gorder just a minute ago. He deserves a lot of credit for bringing this young Falcon defense together.
Second and 9. Pressure picked up again on the near side. It's caught by Meacham. He's going to be 3 yards shy of the first down. Abraham got through it.
There's Big John Abraham. Just went over 100 sacks. 101 for his career. He's going to work his bull rush tonight against Bushrod. He told us my bull rush puts fear in people. He meant it. I look for this guy to showcase an arsenal of moves against Jermon Bushrod tonight. Now he's going to go test Stinchcomb on the other side.
Brees empties the backfield. Falcons rush 4. Brees takes a shot for Colston, who can't hang on. William Moore, the safety back there. And the Saints' second drive out of 3, they get no first down.
Well, Marcus Colston is usually huge down that seam. But you'll see William Moore just locates the football. It's on the hands of Colston. Look at this stripping of the reception right there. That is outstanding ball skill by William Moore. Or else you've got a completion and a big one by Marcus Colston.
Five possessions, 5 punts. Thomas Morstead. Eric Weems nowhere near this one. It'll go all the way out. The touchback, and it'll be a 33-yard net. Sean Payton's defense will get on the field at the 20. Drew Brees frustrated so far. The offense not clicking just yet. Last time Monday Night Football was here, December 10, 2007, the same day that Michael Vick was sentenced to 23 months in federal prison for the dogfighting ring involvement. The next day, Bobby Petrino resigned and then showed up saying, "Woo, pig suey" at Arkansas. They cleaned house. Thomas Dimitroff, the new general manager, came in. Mike Smith, the head coach, was hired. They drafted Matt Ryan with the 3rd overall pick. Made the playoffs in 08, winning season in 09. Chance to win the division tonight. Ryan, first down pass for Ronnie White. He's got the Falcons' first down of the evening at the 37-yard line. And there is Arthur Blank, the owner, and Dimitroff, who came from the New England Patriots. And a late flag thrown just a second ago as the conversation continued after the White catch.
Well, Roddy White does an outstanding job of working back to the football and opening up the window for Matt Ryan.
Alex Brown of the Saints, the defensive end, followed up on the play and was involved in conversation over on that Falcon bench. And we'll see what the call is going to be. Ed Hockley leading the crew and having a conversation.
Well, Will Svitek, an extra offensive lineman, was hustling.
There was no foul on the play. No foul on the play. First down.
That's a good call. But Roddy White, remember, this guy's a 2-time wrestling champ in high school. And he comes off the ball and has tremendous upper body strength. That's why you don't see bump and run coverage, very physical. But Matt Ryan knows exactly where to go. And Roddy White, the NFL's leading receiver.
How about those hands, John? Snatches it out of the air.
gain of 18. Ryan back to the air, back toward White. Flag is down as White has it out of bounds at the 33. He was covered by Jabari Greer. Which way will it go?
He's a tough guy to play bump and run against.
Well, this is chemistry between a quarterback, Matt Ryan, and a wide receiver, Roddy White. You anticipate and you throw him open. This is well executed by guys that understand what the pass game is all about.
There was pass interference on both teams on the play. Defense 33, offense number 84. 24?
84.
24. The penalty's off, the foul's offset. We'll replay first down.
It's not 24. 24 is inactive tonight. It was 84, Roddy White. It was on the same two players. So the one official threw one flag and made it a combo platter, like 2 for 1 after the holidays, a sale.
Yeah, but Roddy White, we talked to Dante Robinson, who played for the Houston Texans. He's now with the Falcons. He goes up against Roddy every day, and he says playing bump and run against this guy is not a wise thing to do. I just don't know how you call interference on both players. Of course, the last 2 calls I still don't understand.
Mike Smith agrees with you. So a gain of 29 is nullified. And it's back to 1st and 10 at the 38. And we've got an issue, I believe, with the clock running here.
Boy, these guys get it right.
Just going to reset the play clock and get it going again here from the 38-yard line.
Mike Smith, not a happy camper right now.
And the entire Falcons staff working the officials on that Atlanta sideline, including the one that made the combo platter call for dual pass interference. First down with Turner to back. He goes left, gains a yard. Will Smith, along with Cedric Ellis, making the stop.
You watch the New Orleans Saints right now playing defense. They're playing a loaded box. They're playing bump and run man-to-man coverage with a single safety. Matt Ryan to throw the ball, and here comes the no huddle.
Yeah, change the tempo. I like this move by Mike Mularkey.
Second and 8. Complete to Michael Jenkins. Good open field tackle by Tracy Porter. They like to do no huddle. Why against the Saints?
Well, they try to reduce the pass rush, and they also try to make the Saints become a vanilla defense. Try to get a predictable coverage, a predictable front, but I think they're messing with the wrong guy because Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, refuses to become a vanilla defense.
Matty Ice, Matty Ryan checking the play at the line of scrimmage. It looks like that press man-to-man. Take a shot.
3rd and 3. Pressure picked up. Ryan throws for Brian Finneran. It's incomplete and out of bounds. So even with the no huddle, the Saints still effective. And that dual pass interference call kind of pulls the plug on this Falcon drive.
But it's that Malcolm Jenkins again. This is a free safety playing corner in bump and run coverage. Not many safeties can come in the game and cover a third wideout. Malcolm Jenkins is rare that way. But obviously Finneran, Matt Ryan not on the same page. When you can lock down these corners, you can load up in the box to stop this running game, Ron.
Lance Moore goes back for this punt inside their own 20. Moore is more sure-handed than Reggie Bush. And Sean Payton likes to have Moore back there to secure the catch. Still, Mike Keenan kicked it out of bounds and did not have one of his best punts, so the Saints will take over somewhere around their 30-yard line. We've had 6 punts in the first 9:39 of this one. The frustration on both sides. Mike Smith, especially with the calls on that drive, as his team got a first down, but nothing else. Well, January 1st marks the year of the quarterback on ESPN. We'll start with a live show from San Diego at 11 Eastern Time. Live interviews with current NFL quarterbacks, our sports science crew, our experts, a sneak peek at a Tim Tebow documentary. Look, college or pro, if you got a quarterback, you got a chance. So we celebrate it with the year of the quarterback, and it kicks off after the Chick-fil-A Bowl right in this building here on ESPN. New Year's Eve. Fourth drive for the Saints. They only have one first down. Bush out of the backfield. Drew Brees hits Reggie. There's a gain of about 7 as William Moore shows him the sideline.
You know, you watch these substitutions. Look at the Saints coming and going. They have 10 different receivers with 20 catches or more. They've handed the ball to 5 different running backs, and the Falcons have to counter with their base personnel, nickel personnel. This is a specialized offense against a specialized defense.
Quick shot to Meacham, who caught it, the 45, a first down in front of Dante Robinson.
Where the Falcons are heating up Drew Brees. That time they bring 2 off the right side. He picks it up and just throws one of those one-step now slants to his left. Watch the blitz again coming off Drew's right side. He had a running play called. He said, not today. I see it coming, and I throw it out there to Meacham. Drew Brees, a lot of football intellect.
Talk about quarterbacks being smart in that pre-phase before the ball is snapped. He is outstanding at it.
Pierre Thomas, he's only going to get a yard out of this one. You guys were mentioning all the substitutions and the personnel packages. Here's how it's distributed. 20 or more receptions, 10 different Saints, 4 receivers, 3 tight ends, 3 running backs. And that gives you an understanding of how difficult it is as defense to prepare Jaws for these Saints.
Well, you know, football's becoming a situational game. Different packages on every single play. It really is a chess match. And when you have this many weapons to distribute the football to, it's very difficult for the defense to match up with any consistency.
2nd and 9, Breeze. There's Lance Moore out of the slot, as usual, into Falcon territory. Curtis Lofton takes him down. It's a first down.
This is one blitz after another. There's another blitz, and Drew Brees just airs out the formation, gets Lance Moore in the slot right there on the right, number 16, and that's easy pickings. When you drop a defensive end, number 98, Jamal Anderson, and try to have him covering Lance Moore, Drew Brees will eat you up.
It's a game of matchups, and you're right, John. You get a defensive end dropping out. I'll bet my house on Lance Moore winning that matchup.
They come in with the extra tight end, if you will, Zach Strief. Send the tight end Jimmy Graham in motion. He's a good rookie down the middle. Breeze comes out to the flat, and flattened is Thomas by Thomas Deku.
Well, the play was designed to be an explosive play. He had Jimmy Graham going deep down the field. Drew Brees did not like what he saw for the explosive play, dumped it out in the flat. And one thing about this Atlanta Falcons defense, they do not give up explosive plays. Only 33 pass plays of 20 yards or more. That's their best in the NFL.
It's a great passing offense. Falcons trying to slow it down with pressure, and they throw a screen to Thomas. Got out of the tackle of Lofton, but Bierman off the defensive line. Corey Bierman comes over to make the tackle. That was the 401st completion this year for Drew Brees. It's a lot of pass completions. It's the 3rd year that Brees has completed 400 or more passes in a season.
Mike, what jumps out is this Falcons defense, the effort, the energy, the hustle that they show on every single play. When that ball left Drew Brees' hand, I thought it was a big play, but the effort by the Falcons defense was outstanding.
They rush 3 and drop 8 this time, and a screen for Thomas to the right. And there's that effort, Jaws. It's Bierman, the defensive lineman, who rushed, retraces his steps, and you'll have about a 51-yard field goal if Sean Payton wants to try it.
Well, the Falcons love that 3-down nickel defense. They've got 3 linebackers, Stephen Nicholas, Lofton, and Witherspoon. And these 3 linebackers can run and hit you. But the effort, as you pointed out, Ron, is rare. And you're going to see a long-range field goal here from Hartley, who's been hot lately. I think he's hit 11 out of his last 12, Mike.
That's exactly right, John. He's been hot, but he did struggle in warm-ups in this direction. It's a 52-yard pick. Chase Daniels, the holder. That one. Long enough and good from 52 for the man who made the field goal to send the Saints to the Super Bowl last year. First point of the game scored by New Orleans, and they lead 3-0. Well, it was a Hartley miss of a field goal against the Falcons that is part of the reason the Saints are not in the lead in the division. Matt Ryan had a big game, 2 touchdowns, including that one to Roddy White. It was that short chip shot field goal, 32-yarder that he missed in overtime. 29-yarder, or 46-yarder, I should say, by Matt Bryant to win the game for the Falcons, 27-24. That missed field goal by Hartley in week 3, the shortest overtime miss in the league since 05. And after that, he was benched for 2 games. John Carney, the 46-year-old veteran, came in and kicked, but Sean Payton didn't cut him. He has a lot of belief in this kicker.
He should, because that guy put him in the Super Bowl. I remember talking to Sean a little earlier during the season. He has a lot of confidence in Hartley. I think getting him away from football, setting him down, let him watch John Carney, it helped the youngster, and he clearly has a big-time accurate leg.
Hey, it wasn't just the kick he made to get them in the Super Bowl, but the 340-plus yarders he made in the Super Bowl, you know?
And this guy here is a different kicker, Morstead. He's the guy they use as their long-range bomber. He's capable of kicking it out of here.
This guy's capable of taking it all the way home. Eric Weems had a 102-yard kickoff return against Tampa Bay, and it was one of the great returns of the year, one of those returns that get you into the Pro Bowl. Weems is 5 yards deep and has to take a knee. It's a little bit of the reason Morstead is kicking. Jaws, what are you seeing here? These first 3 drives out of Atlanta, 10 plays, 28 yards, and but a first down.
Yeah, obviously not very effective. You know, they're trying to run the football, and the one thing about the Falcons, they will stay patient. They will stay committed to the running game. They will force, once again, the Saints defense to load up the box. Then Matt Ryan will start working the edges. I think right now you may see a little more of an aggressive attacker. They've got to loosen up the Saints defense. I'd get after a little bit with the passing game, but it doesn't look like it with this formation.
Turner, a penetration there by Scott Shanley. It allowed Vilma and Smith to make the tackle and a loss of 2 yards.
How about this defensive coordinator of the Saints, Greg Williams? He's always tweaking his defense. He's always coming up with something that nobody has. He has hash mark tendencies. He's got nickel, dime, quarter defenses, penny defenses. We couldn't get out of the production meeting. His call sheet's bigger than Peyton's. These 2 guys are a perfect match. Greg Williams, one of the best in football.
That's a great experience, spending time with Greg Williams. Boy, if you don't learn from him, you'll never learn.
I always enjoy hearing Greg tell us about the things he's concocted. Here comes some pressure. Ryan hit as he throws, caught by White at the 36, first down. Ryan stood in there and took a hit from Roman Harper, but the gain was 18.
Not many guys stand in there, Ron, and make that throw. It's a big-time throw, but watch this guy stand in there and take a hit. That is big time.
Yeah, we always talk about his accuracy and arm strength. If you have the courage to take a hit like that, you will be a great quarterback in this league.
Matt Ryan's trying to get to where Drew Brees is, take his team as the top seed to the Super Bowl. After a quarter, the champs by 3. Atlanta, New Orleans. For years, it was 2 franchises that struggled. The Saints we know about. Their winning percentage, about 40% of their games they won. So Sean Payton showed up in 2006 with Drew Brees. They've won 4 playoff games and turned it around. Similar story here in Atlanta. Couldn't put together back-to-back winning seasons. 40% of their games won. Mike Smith shows up. Matt Ryan, the quarterback, and a good core. When they got in here, they didn't blow the thing up. And I think it's very important. Arthur Blank and Thomas Dimitroff, a big part of that. And credit Arthur Blank for getting Dimitroff from the Patriots and building this organization without sending everybody out. And they were able to get to the playoffs in that first year and have a chance to win the division tonight. The tackle to start the quarter by Jimmy Wilkerson brings Turner down after a gain of a yard.
The Saints defense is doing an excellent job of getting penetration. They've negated this Falcons running game. They've gotten them off schedule. This is a sustaining style of offense. In other words, getting that 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. They're getting in 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. Makes it a little bit tougher on Matt Ryan. Of course, Greg Williams now can dial up his pressures.
Second and 9. Turner not finding any space, and the penetration's been good. It's the second time Jolon Dunbar's in there quick.
You know, in this NFL, when you have a tough game, rushing defense-wise, It's hard to get a same team twice, Ron. They struggled against Baltimore last week. They come back this week. They've got a lot of pride. And believe me, these guys were tested on the practice field all week. Nice stuff by Jolan Dunbar.
John referring to last week when the Ravens ran for 208 yards, and Ray Rice, a back a lot like Turner at $1.53, as New Orleans had its 6-game win streak snap.
I like this Gonzalez matchup in the slot here.
Oh, 3rd and 8. The snap with an issue there. It's loose, and see the Saints fall on it? Yes, they did. New Orleans ball. So a mistake with Todd McClure and Matt Ryan, and Jonathan Vilma is on it. Big turnover in this game.
Well, you'll see Todd McClure, the center, Matt Ryan in the shotgun. The ball just slipped out of McClure's hand. Ball never got to Matt Ryan. Jonathan Vilma with an easy fumble recovery.
You know, these two teams are the best there is in football on 3rd down offensively. Saints are 0 for 3. Falcons 0 for 3. This is a big opportunity for the Saints offensively. Sean Payton loves to take shots in these type of sudden change situations. Look for play action here.
That's bizarre from a 12-year player like McClure. Rare mistake for him. And the 34, Breeze. Looking for that shot. It was covered well. So Pierre Thomas on the check down. Gains 5. Tackled by Lofton.
Well, that's one of Drew Brees' favorite concepts, the old sluggo seam. They have a slant and go at the top of the screen. They try to move the free safety, get Jimmy Graham down the seam. Not there. Once again, Drew Brees checks it down for a high percentage completion.
Yeah, there's a reason he completes 69% of his passes. He knows where to go with the football when the primary receiver isn't open. What a great job he does of understanding his progression.
Thomas, about a half yard. Jonathan Babineau, the penetration. Mike Peterson, the tackle.
You know, Jonathan Babineau is one of those guys, as you prepare for this game, John and I spoke throughout the week, and we're talking about the Falcons defense, the guys that flash, that you see making plays, and we both came up with Jonathan Babineau. He is an effort guy. He's an outstanding football player. He can stop the run. He can attack the quarterback. He's a complete defensive lineman.
Watch Drew Brees use a dummy snap count hop here. Try to get the Saints in the best possible play they can get.
Third and 4, Breeze, quick slant, Jimmy Graham. Rookie tight end, played basketball for 4 years at the University of Miami, then 1 year of football, using his big body like he was boxing out there to get the first down.
Well, 6'6", 260 pounds, flanked out wide to Drew Brees' left. You'll see Reggie Bush go in motion. Now you see the quick drop by Drew Brees. He knows what he's got. He's got to make a tough stick throw. He gets it in there before Weatherspoon can make the contact. But that's just bodying up and making a play.
Pierre Thomas, led by Heath Evans, the fullback, inside the 10. Still grinding down to the 2. And this turnover could be a big moment in the game for the Falcons and Saints.
You know, everybody talks about tempo. Drew Brees jumped the ball, used a quick count right here. Take a look at the Falcon defense. They'll be talking to each other. They're not ready. The ball snapped, and they pump Pierre Thomas right off tackle. And if they get Pierre going again, it'll be big.
They do the same thing, and Thomas walks in for a touchdown.
Up-tempo. You want to be multiple on defense. You want to play a lot of different fronts and different blitzes. Try doing it on a quick count before you can make your calls and your communication. Great adjustment by Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and they capitalize on the turnover.
You go into every game with a playlist of quick count plays, and there's no question that the Saints had that list right in front of them, and they were effective.
Garrett Hartley makes it 10-0. A very uncharacteristic mistake by the center of the Falcons. Todd McClure gave Drew Brees great field position. 5 plays, 34 yards. Pierre Thomas, TD. Very uncharacteristic error by the center of the Falcons. Todd McClure led to that quick drive. Pierre Thomas with a 2-yard touchdown. And McClure has helped contribute to the Falcons' 10-point hole here in a game Atlanta, if they win the division and the #1 seed in the NFC. Taking on the bounce by Weems at the 4. Attacking at the 21-yard line. Jared Weems unable to get something going, and we'll see if this Atlanta offense can bounce back. The center McClure and his mates trying to get the Falcons going. The Atlanta Falcons in a 10-point hold to the defending Super Bowl champs. An offense with only 46 yards so far. Matt Ryan throws to the future Hall of Famer, Tony Gonzalez. Gain of about 7. John and John, let's go back to that last snap, that just bizarre miss of the snap by the 12-year veteran from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Todd McClure.
Yeah, and I mean, this is inexplicable. I mean, he never really even got the ball off the ground. Just kind of rolled it back a couple feet, and Vilma right there to jump on it. Bizarre is a good word, Mike. You just don't see that in a big game like this. Wow.
12-year veteran, too, McClure. So let's see if the Falcons can atone for that mistake. There's Turner with the first space of the night for Turner down the sideline. Into Saints territory. Best play of the evening for Atlanta to the 44.
Well, this offensive coordinator, Mike Mularkey, every week he's got formations I've never seen before. How about 3 tight ends over here all bunched together? They come out here and quad block it. Everybody blocks down, down, down. Just a powerful runner right here, Michael Turner. But they use these tight ends to just block down, angle block, and get Michael Turner one-on-one with a corner. Good design.
And the Falcons will stay committed to the run. That's their foundation.
So they're trying to take this back, and you got to go low to get him, and Tracy Porter does for a loss of a yard. Time for a Sports Center right now with Trey Wingo.
Michael, thank you. Looks like the Seahawks will go into their NFC West title showdown with the Rams without Matthew Hasselbeck. Had an MRI today on his lower back and hip, which he strained versus the Bucs yesterday. They plan to start Charlie Whitehurst. Meanwhile, Brett Favre has not passed a concussion test. The Vikings say no test planned prior to tomorrow night's game in Philly, which means he might not be on the field for the first Tuesday night game since 1946.
And we know Brett's watching, so hey, Brett, how are you? Number 45, here's Ryan throwing wide open. Jenkins through his hands. Porter, the corner, lost Jenkins. And he looked wide open there in a break. The pressure was on from Will Smith.
He was wide open. Yeah, there's going to be pressure on Matt Ryan. He had to get rid of the ball a little bit quick. Coming to his left hand, right up the middle, Will Smith. And Matt Ryan had to throw the ball early. The anticipation was there. But as you saw, Jenkins was not quite out of his break. And you see just a little bit of miscommunication. But that came from the pressure of Will Smith.
Tying this one for Ryan. And Snelling released out of the backfield. Jason Snelling first down. Roman Harper tackles him at the 25.
Well, that's a backbreaker. That's a great play by the young quarterback, Matt Ryan. Saints rush 4. Guys are cutting all over the place. One of these fancy coverages. Ryan's looking downfield. The protection holds up, and he just waits long enough to find his check down. A reliable receiver, this Snelling. That's his 40th catch of the year. He's been out the last couple weeks. Big part of this offense.
He's third on this team with catches, 40. Ryan hiding the ball. Flag down as he throws for White. Incomplete.
Harvey Dahl, the right tackle, number 73, does not look happy.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 69. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Anthony Hargrove is the first accepted flag here of the night.
And Harvey Dahl is one of those offensive linemen you do not want to have get angry if you're on defense. He is one mean, nasty offensive lineman that sets the tempo for the Atlanta Falcons.
I think Clabo heard you. This right side of the Falcons, Harvey Dahl and Tyson Clabo, you do not want to see these two guys very often. Very physical offensive line here with the Atlanta Falcons.
They started every game this season. That helps.
Play action. Ryan's got space, takes off. Slides at the 15, took a big hit as well, and a flag comes in.
There's no doubt of that one.
Ryan started his slide. Jolan Dunbar came in. And now the words continue after the play with both sides.
Unnecessary roughness defense, number 56. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Roddy White is the one having to be held back going after one of the Saints.
Yeah, this one's heating up now. You'll see Matt escape the pocket. You know, take your running opportunities. That's the key. He's clearly down, and you'll see the late hit. That is the right call as Dunbar came in long after Matt Ryan was sliding.
And they've taken Roddy White out of the game for a play. Calm him down a little bit. Good move by Mike Smith. There's Terry Ribisky. Calm him down. I guarantee you he'll be back on the next play.
I'll calm you down, but thank you. Love you sticking up for your quarterback there.
And Tony Gonzalez big in the red zone for the Falcons.
First and goal. Here is Turner. He lost a helmet there on the Saints defensive line. It was Hargrove as there's no gain on the play.
Well, it's the same formation they just ran earlier for the big run. That time the Saints are ready for it. Here comes Roddy White. An obvious passing situation, Ron. And this Saint defense has been much improved against the past. And in the last 2 years since Greg Williams been here, this is one of the top red zone defenses in football.
Yeah, when you're on a list of defense with the Ravens and the Steelers, you're darn good. And they are inside the 20 the last 3 years. Ryan, nobody's open. White, or rather Snelling, out of the backfield, couldn't get it, but we have a flag down. Back at the 15, two separate flags.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Holding, offense number 72. There was also a personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, shot to the head. The penalty's offset. We play second down.
And Matt Ryan on that drop back was looking for Tony Gonzalez. And he'll take a look at
Baker, the left tackle, is the hold on Will Smith, who gets through. And it must have been Smith getting through with a hand up by the face mask that was called for the Saints foul. That was it.
There was it right there.
It was a very incidental contact, just brushing the front of the face mask.
I'll tell you.
That's a break for the Falcons. Called by the book, but certainly incidental. Second and goal, Ryan, quick shot, White, Atlanta touchdown.
That's why you call Roddy White off the field and calm him down. But how about this quick release by Matt Ryan? It's Roddy White one-on-one bump and run, just a quick inside slant. One-step departure, and Matt Ryan can get it out of his hand quick and accurate. That was easy.
Boy, what an explosive route by Roddy White, coming out that stick to the outside and exploded into the end zone.
Bryant adds the extra point. In 3 years, that's 25 touchdowns. Matt Ryan to Roddy White. And what a response after the mistake, the turnover, and the touchdown by the Saints. White gets one for the home team. What a great drive to answer the New Orleans score. Atlanta with one of their own, 8 plays and 78 yards. Matt Ryan throwing the touchdown to Roddy White, and Jabari Greer, who had to come out of the game last week with a left knee injury, beaten on the touchdown. Michael Kanan kicks to Pierre Thomas. Courtney Roby's still out. He's the normal kickoff return guy. Thomas doesn't get to the 20-yard line. Obi Mahele, the fullback, full contact. Halfway through the quarter, game settling in. The Saints leading the Falcons by 3.
We are.
Good quarterbacks give you good games, and so far with defensive pressure, both Breeze and Ryan settling in, getting their teams to respond. A turnover by the Falcons allowed the Saints to jump to a 10-0 lead. Ryan with the response drive of 78 yards, and now Breeze and the Saints take over at their own 18.
And you see those 16 pass attempts by Drew Brees. The Falcons have blitzed him 11 times.
Wow.
So they are bringing the heat.
It's the four-man rush. Brees swings it out to Reggie Bush. 3-yard gain. Thomas Deku with the tackle.
But it's his Saint tempo that is impressive. You want to do all this stuff on defense, you better be ready. Watch Drew Brees snap the ball before the Atlanta Falcons are ready. They're not even looking at the ball, Ron, and Pierre Thomas is off to the races. Then later in the same possession, Drew Brees is up and at him at the line of scrimmage. There's 6 Falcon defenders. They don't get their calls in, and that's a walk-in touchdown. Saint tempo. It's different. It's fast.
Thomas, about 1.5 yards. Jamal Anderson with the tackle. And guys, this Saints team was 13-0 last year. They were rolling. They had everyone's attention, but then lost their last 3 games. And people wondered if they could get it back, and they did. This year, they had a stretch where they lost 3 out of 5, and people got off the Saint bandwagon a little bit. But you can see them catching momentum, looking more like a championship team this year.
And they're getting a little healthier, and that's always a problem in the National Football League. Are you healthy going down the stretch? The Saints feel now they're getting healthier. They're ready to make a late-season run.
Empty backfield again. See if the Falcons heat it up again. They just rush 4, and Brees takes a shot for Meacham, incomplete. The 4th-year man out of Tennessee was step for step covered by Brent Grimes.
Well, this guy, Sean Payton, he brings in 4 wide receivers. There's 2 over here. There's 2 down here. There's 1 tight end in Shockey. There's no running backs. And Brees drops back against another Falcon blitz, works Meacham on a double move. And this defensive back, number 20, Brent Grimes, is one of the best stories in the NFC this year. He's got 5 interceptions, an undrafted free agent out of Shippensburg. What a year for Brent Grimes.
John, he's batted down 22 balls, passes defended, most in the NFL.
Morstead kicks it straight up in the air. Weems tells his guys, get away. Got a good bounce from Morstead. Ends up a 47-yard punt. And Atlanta's going to take over at the 30-yard line. Well, the BCS starts rolling in here on ESPN. And on Saturday night, we'll have the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl as the Connecticut Huskies, the Big East champs, take on the number 7 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners. Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern, here on ESPN. Before that, you'll have the granddaddy of all, the Rose Bowl. And next Monday night, we'll all be in South Florida for the Discover Orange Bowl, with Stanford taking on Virginia Tech.
Looking forward to seeing Andrew Luck live and in person.
Falcons take over from their own 30-yard line, trailing 10-7. Touchdown on the last drive. This is Turner to the left, and Jonathan Vilma chases him all the way down for no gain.
Michael Turner is the kind of back that you want to get his shoulders turned to the sideline. He's not as effective. He's a downhill power runner. You get him turning, he can't get the corner because he doesn't have the speed. You'll see an excellent job right here by Tracy Porter holding the edge. Tony Gonzalez can't move him, and Turner doesn't have the speed to get to the outside.
5.5 left in the half. Play action, Ryan. The late pressure comes. Jabari Greer on the coverage of Jenkins, and it's ruled incomplete. Some of the Falcon fans thought he got hit first.
This New Orleans Saint defense, I don't know what it is. They called it the tarantula defense last night. It's an 8-man front. You're going to see Harper on the line of scrimmage, and he's outside of a linebacker. You see 27 come up, Malcolm Jenkins. It's man-to-man. It's a full blitz. And Jabari Greer, who got beat for the touchdown, does a nice job driving on the football. Long arms. Good play.
Well, Jenkins got to drive a little harder to come back to that ball.
Ryan, third down throw is caught by Jenkins. First down and a gain of 19 at the 49-yard line. The whistle down with the flag.
They got to get Michael Jenkins there on a push-off.
Pass interference. Offense number 12. Push off. 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Well, you see at the top of the stem, Michael Jenkins used his hands to push Greer, and they're going to call that one. If he didn't push off, he probably would have got the contact more than 5 yards down the field. But that one goes against the Falcons.
And this Mike Smith, head coach of the Falcons, since he's been here in 08, this is by far the least penalized team in football. Just over 4 penalties a game. And that one right there is costly.
That's the hidden yards in the game that you don't see. You see the penalty, but they had a first down up near the 45.
That's what John was talking about. So it's 3rd and 20. The Saints rush 3. Ryan will just get it to Ovi Mahaley, the fullback. It's the penalty yardage +1 back. Marvin Mitchell, the backup linebacker, injured on the play. As he went diving to tackle Mahaley, he was grabbing at his lower back. So we have a Saint down over on their sideline. Mitchell works himself back over to the Saints bench.
Once again, it's Reggie Bush back here, Mike. And the one thing that Reggie hasn't done so far this year is make one of those Reggie Bush jaw-dropping plays. And I think he's overdue.
He's taken 4 punts back for touchdown, a couple of them in the Dome on a Monday night against Minnesota in 08. Michael Kanan's been good kicking it to the sideline. Returnable 50-yarder from the 19. Bush up the middle, flag down as he's brought down. Good tackle by Ovi Mahaley and Jason Snelling. The net's 40. Let's check the flag here.
There's a lot of them.
One more, we'd have an amusement park.
And Hockley and his crew put it together. Ed working his 20th Monday Night Football game. Only 9 referees. I know, John, you like to keep track of number of games referees work. It's 20th Monday night game.
Return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team number 97. Half the distance to the goal. New Orleans keeps the ball. First down.
9 men have been the referee 20 Monday night games or more.
I'm glad I'm not you, Mike.
Come on, so it's the holiday spirit. I so wanted to get you a referee jersey for Christmas, you know, your own. Well, this is a little bit of a chance for Atlanta to flip what the story was in the first quarter. First quarter, the Falcons offense had the long fields. That punt plus the penalty now gives New Orleans its worst field position of the night, back at their own 10. Other times that means kill the play that was there, and Drew sets him up for something else because he likes something. And it's Meacham for 14 yards on first down.
I love watching Drew Brees play quarterback. Just watch him drop back to pass and go through his progressions. Primary receivers to your right, complementary receivers to your right, and your outlet is to the left. Watch him look to the right the whole way. Nobody's open. He resets. He finds his backside element. And Robert Meacham is stationary for the easy completion. But this guy, he knows this offense like the back of his hand. And he can go through his progressions now.
John, excellent protection by Jermon Bushrod and Carl Nix handling that stunt.
Brees rolling, firing left. And that one is caught, but for a minimal gain to Pierre Thomas. Stephen Nicholas with the tackle. You know, go back to that the shot we saw of Brees' eyes from the far end zone. I don't think he blinked. You know, when these guys drop back, I love watching Brees especially. His eyes are so expressive, and you can't afford to blink with the way defenses are this way of the league. Watch him here.
It's an eye discipline, and you know what? You may miss something if you blink, and the great quarterbacks, they have this. They are focused, zeroed in on their target. They're like lasers, and then you see the accurate throw.
These things are saucers, man. 2nd and 9. It's the pressure, good, perfect throw. The only place it could have been for Meacham, a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Oh, that's hairy. And this no-back set that the Saints love, they will use a no-back set and get 5 receivers in the route as many times as they can. That's the 3rd time New Orleans has been in it. That's the 3rd time that the Falcons have blitzed it. They are not going to let Drew Brees get comfortable in his no-back set. Look at this personnel change on both sides of the ball.
You know, a lot of teams, you know, when they have an offense that goes that no back in the backfield. Their defense is called, get the backup quarterback ready, because we're going to come in and hit your starter.
And a whistle here on 3rd and 2 as they move.
Ball start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The left tackle, Jermon Bushram.
That's a big penalty. The difference between 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 7, obviously, is huge. And that time it wasn't John Abraham, it was Parade Jerry, who normally plays inside. Take a look at it. Actually, that's Chauncey Davis.
The crowd becomes a factor now, and I think that affected Bushrod on that last play.
A 2-minute warning is going to save him here. They were running up against the play clock as Breeze was readjusting the play, and the 2-minute saved him from a delay game or needing a timeout. At the 2 in Atlanta, the defending champs lead the top team in the NFC by 3. From the Georgia Dome, tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya on the sideline. 10-7 Saints, 3rd and 7. Falcons bring the heat. Breeze avoids the sack, resets and throws to Meacham. First down at the 46-yard line. Breeze got away from the nickelback blitzing Brian Williams.
Oh, it's all Breeze. I mean, this is an unblocked sack, and Breeze gets away from it. Watch Brian Williams unblocked, and Drew Brees steps up. Not only does he get out of trouble, he maintains his poise, keeps his eyes downfield. You're not going to see a bigger play than that. Wow. But Brian Williams has got to make that play.
Once again, you see the Falcons dialing up the pressure. It gets home. Williams does not make the tackle, but Breeze has outstanding pocket awareness. He's got that sixth sense of where the pressure's coming from. He steps up, he moves. Now, mid-season, he had a little bit of knee injury. He wasn't able to make those kinds of moves. Well, now Drew Brees healthy once again, manufacturing plays outside the pocket.
And this Saint offense does a lot of things well, but this might be the thing they do the best, Mike, the 2-minute offense. Over the last couple years, nobody does it better in the 2-minute offense than in the New Orleans Saints.
Saints took the timeout there. Breeze has hit 13 of his last 14. Hit the rhythm once he got a hold of what Atlanta was trying to do with their pressure package. Here they come again on first down. It's picked up. Breeze to Reggie Bush. And Bierman, the defensive lineman, snuck back with Sean Weatherspoon, first-round rookie out of Missouri.
That was the same exact blitz that Brian Williams missed the tackle on the previous play. The Falcons continue to blitz no matter what the situation is.
Off the edge, Bierman almost got there. Another missed sack and another Breeze completion. This to Shockey at the 40-yard line.
Well, Bierman was in, Abraham was in. Neither could bring Drew Brees down. The pressure's getting home right now. You'll see Bierman, number 71. All kinds of bodies. Then you got Witherspoon coming in. No one making a play.
We have a whistle here. I don't know if the booth upstairs stopped it or we have a timeout.
We're reviewing the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
Last 2 minutes, all reviews happen, initiated by the replay assistant upstairs, and they'll do it here with a minute remaining. Did Shockey catch it or no? First look, first angle looks good. Well, we'll take more looks at it during the timeout. Ruled on the field a complete pass caught by Jeremy Shockey. Ed Hockley went over to look at it in replay. Watch the nose of the ball as Shockey catches it. A lot of the nose scrapes across the turf of the dome. And here's Hockley's call.
The ruling on the field stands as called. The receiver had the ball pinned up against his chest. And although the ball was on the ground, it never appeared to move. Therefore, the ruling stands. It is a first down.
Perfectly explained.
That's one thing I don't like about the 2-minute drill I'm seeing these days, Ron. There's just too many replay challenges by the referees, and you ruin the drive. The Falcons get the rest of their defensive line. They get the right call from the sideline. I don't like all these instant replay reviews in 2 minutes.
John, I totally agree with you. Right now, that Falcon defense had a chance to freshen up, and now they're going to get after Drew Brees.
Clock does restart, so we take it inside 50 seconds here in the half. Breeze putting it up deep. Lance Moore behind the secondary. It's broken up by Deku. Oh, the safety able to get his arm there. I don't even know if he saw the ball. Maybe at the last second to deflect a would-be touchdown for Moore.
Thomas Deku was beaten on the play, but he recovered. And he showed that ability to pop his hand up. He never saw the football and knocked it away. That's a little bit lucky, I would say. Just popped his hand up, knocked it away. And you'll see Lance Moore just streaking down the field. A little stick to the inside, goes over the top. The ball slightly underthrown by Drew Brees.
Lucky. 2nd and 10. Pressure comes. It's picked up. But Brees is brought down by Abraham. Sack 13 of the year for John.
Well, Pierre Thomas came across the backfield, made a great pickup on the blitz. But John Abraham comes off the ball and beats Stinchcomb for the sack. Take a look at the blitz pickup right here by Pierre. He's going to come off and do a great job, but John Abraham does an excellent job timing the snap count perfectly. He's done it for years. He's got over 100 sacks, and in that situation, he knows it's a pass. He gets a great get off, gets the corner, and finishes Drew Brees.
You know, he sets up that move all evening. He's been using that power. All of a sudden, he comes to the outside. He will follow that up with that inside move, that spin move back to the inside. He has incredible versatility for a defensive end. That was a huge sack for the Falcons.
Disappointing season last year for Abraham. Under double-digit sacks, but he's turned it back up this year. Only Cameron Wake in Miami has more. Saints are not in field goal range. They have one timeout left. 3rd and 16. Breeze sends 5 in the pattern. In trouble. Threw it away. Got near the line of scrimmage. Well, they really was out of the tackle box. Hockley says he was. So no grounding.
Hey, the big problem right now, and Drew Brees warned us last night, the Falcons can get after you with a 4-man pass rush. Take a look at this rush. Guys get up off the ground. They're relentless. John Abraham is in pursuit. If you can put pressure on Drew Brees with a 4-man pass rush, you got a chance to beat New Orleans.
Nice job by Stephen Nicholas on that delay blitz. He dropped out a step. All of a sudden, the line slid away, and he came right up the middle, right in the face of Drew Brees.
Falcons have 12 guys on the field. They're a little confused with their personnel. Atlanta should just take a timeout and calm themselves down here. Now, they got a break there because they're resetting the play clock. Atlanta had people running around, so we'll just get a quick reset of the play clock with 29 seconds left. While they do that, Toyota Halftime Show, Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, fastest 3 minutes. Come on, man of the year. So Keyshawn and the rest of the guys will be there to join Boomer on the Toyota Halftime Show for the Come On Man of the Year coming up. We're down inside the 20. The time runs here. The Falcons full complement of timeouts and 16 seconds left. 30 on the kick. Story here in the NFC. Falcons win, and it's game, set, and match. The road to the Super Bowl in the NFC comes through this very building. The Bears sitting at 11-4. The Eagles, who will play tomorrow night, the Tuesday night game against Minnesota. And they have the Rams at 7-8. Meantime, the Saints sitting at 10-4 as the top wild card. They will try to win these last 2 games, hope the Falcons lose tonight, and then to Carolina in here on Sunday, and they would be the number 1 seed. Atlanta will get the ball first to start the 3rd quarter. Tight, tough division game. Good defense and pressure on these quarterbacks in the first half. 10-7 Saints over the Falcons. Now time for Chris Berman and company with the Toyota Halftime Show. Boomer.
There's something different about tonight. Call it chemistry or confidence. It's hard to define, but it's real. It takes perfect timing, perfect touch. It's powerful. It's magic. The Saints versus the Falcons. The final Monday night game continues.
Tight first 30 minutes. Here on the edge of downtown Atlanta, 10-7. The Saints, the Falcons get the ball to start the 3rd. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski here in the Georgia Dome. What have you seen when the Falcons have had the ball like they will to start the third quarter?
Well, the Saints have done a good job containing Michael Turner. 11 carries, 31 yards. He's only had the one long run. And they've got him behind in the down and distance. The Falcons 1 of 6 on third down. That's good defense by New Orleans.
Well, when the Saints have the football, they've got to do a better job of protecting Drew Brees. It's obvious the Falcons are bringing the heat, their pressure packages. So I think what you'll see out of Sean Payton in the second half, a little more maximum protection. Allow Marcus Colston to work a little deeper down the field. He's getting the isolation routes, but Brees is not getting time.
Some big weapons. Colston for the Saints, Gonzalez for the Atlanta Falcons have been quiet thus far in the first half. And the huge stakes, as you know, and both teams have played up to what's on the line here tonight. #1 seed if the Falcons win. If not, it'll force Atlanta to beat Carolina. Team with the worst record in the league in here on Sunday. New Orleans trying to keep its hopes alive to be the division champs. Saints also need a win to get to the playoffs. Not in yet. Tampa Bay sits and watches, with hopes that the Saints lose and keeps the Buccaneers right in the mix here with a game and a week left in the NFL season after this second half. Eric Weems pushed 7 yards deep in the end zone. No return. Good couple of kickoffs here out of Morstead. First 30, here are the numbers. Neither team's been able to get a ground game going. It's disappointing for the Falcons, considering it's what they do and what the Saints didn't do well last week. These are two very good third down conversion teams. That hasn't happened, so we should summarize it. The headline is the mistake McClure made on botching a snap that resulted in a Saints opportunity. They scored a touchdown. Other than that, it's been a pretty good defensive show.
Yeah, and the Falcons will stay committed to the run, though. Although you got Matty Ryan here in the shotgun, I still think they believe so strongly in the run, they'll stay with it.
Spread him to start the drive. Ryan has to try to check it down toward Turner, who was blanketed by Vilma. Incomplete.
Yeah, the Saints defense was outstanding against Michael Turner in that first half. Here's that wind back run or search run, and you see the penetration. That's how you stop the running game. Stay in your gap, play with discipline, and be aware. Jonathan Vilma had an outstanding first half of reading the offensive lineman, not overrunning plays and then attacking to the outside. Vilma had a big first half for the Saints. The Falcons never got their search run going or wind back.
Second and 10, second throw. Will Smith coming in. Ryan got rid of it. Gonzalez gets just about 5. 3rd and 5 coming up.
That time they brought Tony Gonzalez in short motion. They're trying to let Tony work underneath. They're putting speed receivers at the top, and they're letting Tony work underneath. And you see Jabari Greer, Jolon Dunbar keeping vision on the quarterback. They break on the throw. They're not going to let Gonzalez have a lot of man-to-man opportunities like they did in that first round, Josh.
All these snaps out of the gun this drive. Here come the Saints. Ryan. What a catch right at the 30 by Jenkins, and that touches the line. That means the first down.
There's a crossing route with Roddy White and Michael Jenkins almost intersecting. And again, another great throw.
And here we go. Matt Ryan now being a shotgun. But you'll see, nice job here by Ryan, moving to his left, buying a little time, letting that window open up. Once again, you see the up-tempo now by the Falcons.
A little jump. That's a quick one of those now passes to Jenkins. There was no flag on the play, and the Falcons, almost like when they saw the action over the nose, snapped the ball to try to get the flag, and they didn't. So instead, they lose a yard and a half on the play.
Yeah, Mike, you're exactly right. As a center, you're aware when a defensive lineman jumps and you believe he's in a neutral zone, you snap the football to get the 5-yard penalty. It was not called. Matt Ryan had the ball in his hand, had to get rid of it, just threw a little now pattern.
Anthony Hargrove on the nose. Ryan adjusted the play. And hits Jenkins in front of Porter. Flag down.
Got the offsides that time, I think.
Yeah, this play is the foundation.
Offside, defense number 91. The penalty is declined. Play results in a first down.
This is the foundation of a timing and rhythm passing game. It's that skinny post. The quarterback's going to get the ball out of his hand in 2.1 seconds, and you'll see the wide receiver make his break at about 12 yards and catch it at about 19. That's the perfect way to do it. Unstoppable when it's executed like that.
3 catches this drive for Jenkins. Will Smith, the defensive end's very hot. He thinks Baker, the left tackle's moving. And the first run of the half is Turner into the waiting arms of Vilma, a gain of about 3. And after the play, Harry Douglas getting involved with Malcolm Jenkins.
A lot of spread formations. Look at Matt Ryan. He says, Harry, get over there and line up. I want to stay after these Saints. But they're spreading these New Orleans Saints out with these empty backfield sets. That time they shifted back into a one-back set, ran a draw play. Matt Ryan loves the no-back, empty, no-huddle offense.
For Jenkins again, Porter hits him in the back. There's the flag. 4 of them.
Well, it's that same pattern they just ran, a timing seam post.
Oh, we got more stuff going on here as Tony Gonzalez has to separate Douglas and Roddy White away from this skirmish is in conversation.
Defense, number 22. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Same pattern. He's going to cross face.
Easy call.
Over the back.
Yep. This was post-play. Porter said something to White.
I like what Matt Ryan is doing right now, spreading it out. The coverage has been rolling over to Roddy White. He's getting the single coverage backside to Michael Jenkins, and he's working it against Tracy Porter. If that linebacker doesn't get any depth, he'll continue to do it.
Ryan for Jenkins, got a step. Got a flag, pass interference, 1st and goal at the 1.
Pass interference, defense number 22. The foul occurred in the end zone, so the ball is placed to the lookout.
You see the aggressive play call here. They've been hitting that skinny post. They kind of nodded to the inside and had Jenkins go over the top. You see, no question, pass interference. So very aggressive play call. That's what you got to do. When you're getting the isolation routes, you got a corner reeling. Get after them right now. That's what the Falcons are doing. They're getting after Porter.
Atlanta for the lead. Michael Turner is stopped. Now, this is interesting, guys, because when you get it to the 1-yard line against the New Orleans Saints, you're almost guaranteed points. The last 90 drives go back to 1998 when somebody's had the ball at the 1-yard line against the Saints. It's either a touchdown or a field goal when we get there on a 1st down.
Yeah, but field goals, the Saints would be happy with that.
That's right.
Yeah. But this New Orleans defense plays an unconventional, overshifted defensive line, and they are tough to run the ball against down here.
Bang it in with Turner again. No, he lost the football. Lost the football at the bottom of the pile. I don't even think the officials know there's a loose ball down there.
Yep.
How about that? Saints ball. So 2 streaks stopped there. It's the first fumble by Turner all year on any touch. And it's the first time in a dozen years that they had it at the 1 and the Saints stopped it.
Well, they've rocked Atlanta in the first game. And it's a defense that's hard to run against.
Marvin Mitchell in there as it gets knocked out. And a huge stop by the New Orleans defense. The Atlanta Falcons, 2 turnovers, have cost them mightily in this game. They turn it over on a run at their own 1, and Breeze has it from his end zone. In trouble, Bierman had him. Did Breeze get out of the pocket and have an eligible receiver nearby? Heath Evans is over in that direction, so it's no grounding. No grounding in the end zone, so it's an incomplete pass. Grounding in the end zone would be a safety.
Watch this play by Drew Brees. He comes off the play action, and Bierman's right in his face. Now he tries to pump it to get Bierman away from him, and Bierman just doesn't make the tackle, or it would have been a safety. Clearly, Heath Evans available to Breeze in the flat. No intentional grounding call. But Bierman won quickly and got the quick pressure on Breeze.
Like that guy, Corey Bierman, third year out of Montana. Quick count, trying to run it and get some space. Pierre Thomas nowhere to go. John, back to the fumble and the goal line defense.
Well, this is an uncommon alignment. How many guys put 4 defensive linemen away from the wing and 2 defensive linemen to the wing? This is an uncommon alignment. They cause a lot of mistakes down here in this goal line, and they cause a fumble. The New Orleans Saints have an exclusive goal line defensive package, and it paid big dividends right there.
You were saying everybody usually runs either 6-2 or 5-3 down at the goal line.
Exactly right.
And they don't.
They do not.
3rd and 10. Bush is the back. Breeze scanning, finding Colston at the first down, 14-yard line. What a big play that was.
What a throw from your own end zone in this crowd noise. Once again, Breeze is looking left. He trusts his protection, and he finds Marcus Colston for the first down. But it's excellent pass protection by this same offensive line. And how about that poise and accuracy, Jaws, in the pocket?
Well, once again, you see the eyes of Drew Brees. He looks left, comes to number 2, then actually it's number 3 to Marcus Colston, right over the ball.
Pierre Thomas. A yard short of the first down. Michelle Tafoya is down on the sideline.
Yeah, Mike, and Mike Smith told me at halftime the plan coming in was to get Drew Brees off the spot, as he called it, and he thinks their pass rush has been really effective. Don't expect a let up here in the second half. What he also said is he wants to see Brees on the ground more and better tackling by the defense. Sean Payton hopes to combat some of that with a more balanced attack. 27 passes and 7 runs in the first half, Mike.
Good point, Michelle. And 2-2 so far here in this half as they're trying to work off their own goal line. Breeze comes back left. That's Colston again, his second catch of the night, both on this drive. Sets up 3rd and 2.
And that's what you missed for about 10 weeks in Pierre Thomas. Breeze is outstanding, but watch Pierre Thomas pick up another blitz. Brian Williams comes off the corner. Pierre Thomas, one of the most reliable blitz pickup backs in the NFL. And boy, do they need him tonight because the Falcons do not let up.
And Breeze has found a juicy spot of that Falcons defense right over the ball, about 8 yards.
3rd and 2. They block down, get pushed to the edge. And he's not getting there. Look at the swarm of red. Brent Grimes, Curtis Lofton lead the charge.
Mike, my quick count showed 10 Falcon defenders around Reggie Bush. They were flying to the football, swarming to the football. This is the effort, the energy that you get out of Brian Van Gorder's defense. There's the initial contact by Grimes, but here's a little help from his friends. Look at all them red jerseys and white helmets around Reggie Bush.
It was Bush's first carry of the night. Morstead's been very good helping field position. Bad kick. He got a good bounce again. Twice his bad kicks have worked out well. 55 yards down at the 23.
But Williams has to go up and catch that ball. He can't let it bounce 20 yards.
Capital of the state of Georgia, the unofficial capital of the South, Atlanta, Georgia. Great football town. They love their college football here, and their Falcons have given them reason to believe. And the dome is packed. There's a buzz around the Falcons here this year, 12-2. Trying to lock down the division in the #1 seed tonight. Michael Turner after the fumble gets it back. He gets to the 29-yard line. John, we have Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator here for the Falcons, matching wits with Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. Those guys shared an office, so not at the same time, but right after each other. Mularkey was the head coach of the Bills 01 to 03, replaced by Greg Williams, and their head-to-head tonight has been pretty interesting to watch.
No doubt. And Mularkey just went right back to Michael Turner after the fumble. I like that move a lot.
First touch that was fumbled by Turner all season. Jason Snelling now in. He only gets about a yard. Jabari Greer swarmed in there and submarined him.
Yeah, what a 1-2 punch. You can take Michael Turner out. Jason Stelling comes in, about the same size, 230 pounds. He can play fullback, a very versatile running back. They don't lose a whole lot when Stelling comes in the game. They're both downhill, punishing runners.
You boys both said it, that run defense was the problem for the Saints last week against Baltimore. It's what the Falcons do well. They haven't been doing it well tonight. Third down, Ryan throws. Jenkins having a big game at the 45, first down, gain of 15.
That's a big-time throw by Matt Ryan. Here comes the no-huddle, but they got a bunch formation to Matt's left. You're going to see Jenkins run a corner route. You can't throw the ball any better than this.
Boy, Michael Jenkins coming up big tonight. You know, coming into this game, he'd only been targeted 56 times, 31 complete, but he's showing up tonight.
Ryan has gone to Jenkins a half dozen times in the quarter. In terms of targets. Now play action. And a throw back towards Gonzalez. He's upset because his route to the ball was impeded by Porter, but no flag and incomplete.
That's one of those plays you practice all week. All week it looks great. Give the Saints some credit, but Tony Gonzalez can still run. He comes off the ball. He's going to start to run across the field, then back to the corner. And there's Tracy Porter whipping his head and finding Gonzalez. Good defense by New Orleans.
Tony might have a legitimate complaint. He got bumped there, John.
You call it every snap.
All right.
Straight drop, Ryan. Off the hands of White, nearly into the hands of Greer. And incomplete. Roddy usually snatches those. More catches than anyone in the league this year.
The one thing you notice about Matt Ryan, he's getting good, clear definition of the defense. He is letting the ball rip, and that goes right through the hands of Roddy White. He's got to make that catch. But one thing you're seeing about Matt Ryan, the conviction to make every throw. He's not waiting. That ball is coming out in very good time with his receivers.
And a timeout taken here by Ryan and the Falcons. 5:21 left in the third. Saints by 3. Saints lead by 3. The Falcons have turned it over twice. Big difference in an otherwise very even game. Off the timeout, Ryan on 3rd and 10. Moved off the spot by Will Smith. Throws on the run toward White. It was blanketed by Malcolm Jenkins. The safety comes down, has to play Roddy White in coverage, and it's 4th down.
Boy, both these defenses are mixing up their looks as well as any teams we've seen all year, Ron. I mean, they're disguising coverages extremely well. They're not sending text messages or emails to Matt Ryan telling them what coverage we're in. Very impressive defense, particularly on 3rd down by both of these teams.
I wouldn't consider Will Smith a text message, but he is coming.
Michael Kanan will try to kick it to the sideline. Lance Moore back. Touchback. Just 35 yards in net. Saints take over at the 20. Breeze back on the field when we come back. There is no setting like it in the sport. The Rose Bowl for the Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. Number 5, Wisconsin. Number 3, TCU. Purple joins the party in Pasadena. Saturday, 4:30 Eastern. All the BCS games here on ESPN, culminating 2 weeks from tonight with the Tostitos BCS National Championship game, Oregon and Auburn. Breeze and the Saints take over from the 20. Good game, 10-7 New Orleans. Breeze incomplete for Jenkins.
Like all night, the Falcons have been bringing the heat, and Breeze has been tremendous under duress. Here, clean off the pocket, Brian Williams off the edge. You'll see Breeze step up. More people there, moves to his left, finds receivers open downfield. Once again, quick pressure. His left side, his right side, Bierman, Abraham. He steps up in the pocket, pressure once again, avoids it, another completion. Drew Brees has been under a lot of pressure tonight, but he is making a lot of plays. And against that pressure, he's been 12 of 16, Mike, for 107 yards.
This time the pressure's picked up again, and Brees throws to the sideline for Colston. Out of bounds, incomplete. There's so much going on in these pickups every play.
I don't remember seeing the Saints blitzed like this. I know the Ravens came a lot last week in Baltimore, but the Atlanta Falcons have blitzed at least 12 to 15 different ways. And Jaws, it's been at least 30 blitzes by this Falcon defense, and this is just where you want to have New Orleans in 3rd down and 10. It's John Abraham time, and he's going to come down here and work on right tackle John Stinchcomb, number 55.
But the Falcon corners have also done a good job, because when you're blitzing, you're leaving them on an island.
Here comes the pressure. Bush picked it up. Brees throws complete to Meacham. Still on his feet. Gain of 14. First down. Reggie Bush, the blitz pickup there.
That's big time by Bush.
Hey. Talk about duress. Once again, Drew Brees. You'll see the pressures. Reggie Bush slides across to pick up the blitz right in Drew Brees' face. He steps up and makes a terrific throw. Once again, look at that beautiful block by Reggie Bush. Drew Brees resets his feet and sticks it into Robert Meacham.
Boy, when I used to coach, those are the plays I loved the most. Seeing a back come across key, smack a blitzer and make a play, that's good football by New Orleans.
First down play action. Brees moves the pocket so he has time to unload downfield. Nearly intercepted. Dante Robinson had his hands on what would have been his first interception as a Falcon. He came over as a free agent from Houston.
Well, you know, Drew Brees has checked it down a lot. I think 23 completions for 170 yards. He wants to go deep. He wants a down-the-field bomb to Robert Meacham out of the full fake. And Dante Robinson read it the whole way. He's clearly over the top, and New Orleans is very lucky that's not intercepted. That would have been Robinson's first pick as a Falcon. Scary there for New Orleans.
Yeah, Robinson has hands on it.
Thomas. Gain of about 4 yards. That's just the 11th run here for the Saints. They're under 30 yards rushing. And John pointed it out earlier as we started the game, a lot of injuries in the running back spot. They haven't gotten the run game going, but where having Bush and Thomas has been huge tonight has been what they've done picking up the pressure of Atlanta.
They've been in deep trouble without these veteran backs that know these protection systems. Remember, Drew Brees will change the protection right before the ball snap as much as anybody in the league. Expect more pressure here from the Atlanta Falcons.
It's exactly the communication you see there with Thomas. 3rd and 6. Brees, flush. Oh, he shoveled it behind the back to Thomas. What a completion by Brees. That's the best no gain of the year.
Ryan Williams has missed at least 2 sacks tonight. He's clean again. Ryan Williams coming off the left side of the screen. Nobody touches him. And watch Drew Brees somehow flip this ball to Pierre Thomas. The question is, how was Pierre Thomas expecting that?
Wow.
I know.
You talk about peripheral vision. Drew Brees had eyes in the back of his head to find Pierre Thomas.
You got to go find Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons. He is aggressive tonight.
Done a nice job. Morstead the kick. Weaves had a run up on it. Got it at the 20. He's down at the 24. He's had some issues with getting the ball, not getting the ball here tonight. 42 on the kick, 4 on the return. Oh, yeah, he was ready for it. Sure.
You take it.
Oof, just got it. Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, 25 years old, 3rd year out of Boston College. Tom O'Brien, Jeff Jagodzinski coached him in a pro-style offense. 2 different coaches at BC. Jagodzinski the last year, he did well in both systems. He was ready for the NFL, and he's been terrific. 32-12 as a starter. Turning the run. to the 31-yard line, 7-yard game. Of those 32 wins, 19 have come here in the Georgia Dome. You get home winning percentage. Tom Brady over the last 3 years, undefeated. His record home starting streak is rolling. But only Orion lost to Denver. The only blemish on his home mark, and that's part of the reason this team has been collectively very good at home and why tonight's so important. Win tonight, and you've got to beat the Falcons in this building to get to the Super Bowl in the NFC. Second and 3. Will Smith's got him. Will Smith comes in for a sack.
Will Smith has had a big night. He may have not got a lot of sacks, but he has been around Matt Ryan all night. You'll see Sam Baker step out, and Will Smith takes that inside move with a clean shot. Matt Ryan had no shot to get rid of the ball.
First sack of the night for the Saints.
That guy can play.
Ooh. His motor's running tonight.
And from second and 3, it's 3rd and 10. They go with a quick count. The dump off is caught by Ovinmuhele, but he's a couple of yards shy of the first down. Marvin Mitchell, hurt earlier, makes the tackle. It's 3 and out. And Reggie Bush goes back for a punt return for the Saints.
Both of these teams, they know each other extremely well. You sense that with Sean Payton, with Mike Smith. They worked extremely hard with the extra day of preparation. Hey, there's tendencies this time of year, Ron, and both of these teams, they've come up with a little subtle changes on their defenses to keep these offenses off balance.
Hayden kicking high into the sideline. Again, the impact of a Reggie Bush penalty marker thrown as Lee Torrance was blocking the gunner for the Falcons. We talk about Devin Hester and Reggie Bush. We always look at their punt return average, but there's no way to calculate those things where it's kicked out of bounds so they don't get it. And a lot of times guys find it hard to find the sideline with a good punt. Well, that one by Kanan was pretty good. Here's what was happening with Torrance and Eric Weems.
Wow. Look, he was in bounds when he blocked him.
Weems, who is their very good kickoff and punt return man, is also a great coverage guy. Leads this team in special teams tackles. So when they named the Pro Bowler in special teams, I'm sure folks factored that in when they voted.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 24 of the receiving team. Hit a player who was clearly out of the play at the end of the play. That's half the distance to the goal. New Orleans keeps the ball. First down.
Tough call on a meaningless play and just a charity shove in this game. Here's where we stand in the South. The Buccaneers are still alive at 9-6. They go to New Orleans next week. They're pulling for the Falcons. The Saints need 2 wins and 2 Falcon losses. Remember, everybody's in the division next week, so Atlanta plays Carolina here in the Georgia Dome. So it's unlikely the Falcons would lose 2, but even beyond the home field, the Saints can send a strong message. Sean Payton told us last night, you know what, guys? Even if we don't get the number 1 seed, as a 5 seed, we might be right back in this building in 3 weeks for a playoff game. If so, it would be something. Pierre Thomas up the middle. Good run to the 24-yard line, first down.
This is a confident football team, the Saints. I don't think they care where they play. They've won 12 out of their last 15 road games. And one of these 2 offenses is going to deliver a world championship drive, or a division championship drive, I should say, Jaws.
Well, Pierre Thomas had a nice run there, and if they get that running game going, Drew Brees becomes much more dangerous.
No scoring in the quarter. After 3, the Saints lead by 3. What a year it's been for Drew Brees. He has the accolades, he has the stats, but it's the little things that make him so special.
No question. How about the nuances? He's going to point left, send to center that way, and then he says, hey, Reggie, come cross key and pick up this blitzing safety, will you? And there goes Reggie Bush sticking the pickup perfectly so Brees can step up and throw a strike. That's what Drew Brees brings to your football team. Knowledge and application of the knowledge when the game starts. This is a rare cowboy right here, Drew Brees. He can do it all, not only with his arm, but with his above-the-neck aptitude of this game. He's a superstar.
And he understands his value. He said, I carry the life of this football team. What a guy to have carry the life. He usually gets it done.
Breeze and the Saints start the fourth quarter with 1st and 10. Here's Devery Henderson on the edge for 10 yards. Stephen Nicholas pulled him down, but it's a first down.
What a great play by right tackle John Stinchcomb. They're going to fake the ball to the left and throw a quick screen to the right to a fast receiver. Watch right tackle John Stinchcomb come blazing out here, 315 pounds, throw and roll against Brent Grimes. That gives Henderson a chance to make a big play.
These are beautifully designed blitz beaters. The Falcons have been bringing the pressure, get the ball on the edge with a lead blocker in front of a wide receiver.
The 33 Breeze flipped it right into the waiting arms of Chauncey Davis. Falcon touchdown. It's that unfindable line of when are you trying to do too much because you've kept your team in the game with all the things you've done. And much like the first game, a small mistake by Breeze forces a turnover. This one turns into a large mistake, a turnover, and a 26-yard touchdown return for Chauncey Davis.
Well, when you throw the ball this much and you're under this much pressure in this type of atmosphere, sooner or later you're gonna make a mistake. And that was a big one there. And a similar play happened in the first game, Jaws, up in New Orleans, where they chased Drew down and he tried to unload it, and that ball was intercepted. But those are big turnovers.
Came into this game with 19 interceptions. Those are not Drew Brees type numbers when it comes to turnovers.
How about the pressure up the middle from Jonathan Babineau?
Well, right on the right side of the center. It's a full play action pass, and nobody touches Babineau. And you'll hear coaches say it all the time. You got to see throws. Before you throw it, you got to see where you're throwing it. That time, Drew threw a blind ball. Never expected a defensive lineman to be there. And Chauncey Davis, that's what you say is Johnny on the spot.
Well, that's being at the right place at the right time. But no question, Babineau makes the play, gets the pressure up the middle, gets the whack on Drew Brees, his arm, turns the game right around.
Davis was taken in the 4th round. You see Brees, that 20th pick, 4 behind Eli Manning. Brees told us last night, I'm not a 19 interception guy. Those mistakes that he's made, which he didn't last year, drove him nuts. You see Sean Payton kind of talking to him, just clicking him back in. Because they're going to have a lot more football here. The 4th round pick in 05, Davis comes up with his 2nd career interception. Pierre Thomas tackled just past the 30 by Brent Grimes. Here's the mistake from the Week 3 game by Brees, trying to do just a little too much.
No question. He gets out of there to his right. He knows he's in an awkward, tough position. You try to get rid of it. You don't see the throws. And right here, Drew has no chance. Sometimes you just got to eat it. But we'll see what the world champions are made from now. I can see why this Falcon team has won 19 out of 20. This joint is rocking. This is where you want to see Drew Brees in the 4th quarter trailing on the road.
Brees scanning, firing. Robert Meacham to Falcon territory just like that at the 44.
That's that sluggo seam, Jaws. It's a Drew Brees favorite, and he executes it perfectly. It's a slant and go. They're going to try to get the safety to go that way, and then they're going to get Meacham right down the seam. Sorry about the drawing. I got a little excited there, Mike. Look at that throw. Excellent execution and good pass protection.
I think Drew Brees got excited. He saw that big a hole, and that was juicy for him.
Hey, Johnny Ice, like Matty Ice.
I'm telling you.
Game gets bigger. He had a 25. Brees again. Nice move in the open field by Henderson. They gain balls down. It was down by contact, gains of 25 and 10, and the Saints all of a sudden at the 33.
There's a reason Drew Brees is an elite NFL quarterback. We can talk about the skill set, but he is a fierce competitor. He hates to lose. He will fight you to the very end, tooth and nail. And he has amnesia. He's already forgotten about that interception. He is coming back.
Quick snap to 33. Thomas up the middle for about 7 or 8 yards. This is at a graduate level tonight. All the little chess pieces are being moved, and it's a little gotcha on every snap.
Well, this guy, Sean Payton, he's got the biggest menu of plays that we have. Look at the personnel substitutions. And Brian Van Gorder, he's doing a tremendous job tonight, countering every move Sean makes. This is going to be a wild finish.
Play action, Brees saw the rush, threw it in the dirt. Brian Williams, the nickel man, missed a sack in the first half on pressure. In there again.
Brian Williams must be working on his pass rush drills this week. I mean, he has been all over Drew Brees. He's getting home. He just got to learn how to make a tackle.
We used to have a period in practice. It was called blitz pickup drill. Every play was a blitz. That's what I feel like I'm watching here. The Falcons have blitzed over 35 times tonight.
Brees changes the formation to spread them out. No backs. They pressure him. Brees stepped up the whistle. We have a whistle. So forget the touchdown for Colston. The play was stopped for a false start.
Wow. Drew Brees made another unbelievable play.
The pass was thrown. False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
Well, John mentioned that this place is rocking, and it is right now.
Well, take a look at left tackle Jermon Bushrod right here. The left tackle, that's who they flag. And it's John Abraham, this defensive end at the bottom of the screen. I don't know how many false starts John Abraham has caused in his career. He's probably got 102 sacks in his life, probably forced 175 false starts. He drove me crazy preparing for this cat.
Ed Hockley just resetting the clock.
Well, I think in this situation, if you're the Saints, you got to think protection first. Somehow, some way, you've got to give Drew Brees some time. He has been under duress. Brian Williams, once again, the previous play, got in clean.
From the 30, pass is deflected and intercepted. What a play by Abraham. And what a night for the Falcon defense.
Guy's a nightmare. Well, Brees, he expected the blitz.
Back-to-back series, the Atlanta defense and the defensive line come up with interceptions of Drew Brees. Abraham gets that one. Through the timeout, very few set down inside the Georgia Dome, which is rocking. They've seen their defensive line come up with back-to-back interceptions. Rarely do you see that in an NFL game. Matt Ryan and company from the 47 with play action and a little dump to the tight end, Justin Peele. Head over heels to the first down at the 43-yard line.
Here's the interception. I think Brees sees a blitz coming. He's going to audible to a quick screen to his left. And watch John Abraham. Bushrod never touched him. And Abraham does a great job getting his hand up, deflecting the ball. You don't see this often. John, the guy shows the ability to catch his own deflection.
John's talking of deflections. Since 2002, when Drew Brees became a starter, he's had 132 tip balls, the most in the NFL.
Justin Peele, who made that play on the last catch and was sent head over heels, is shaken up. He's on a knee with the training staff looking at him. As they do that, we'll step out for a second. Justin Peele helped off the field. A first down for Atlanta at the New Orleans 43, leading by 4. Second straight throw. Ryan is hit and throws it incomplete, intended for Ove Muhele. Now, during the timeout, we were taking a look, and Drew Brees is walking over there as you look live. But during the timeout, as we were watching, guys had their heads down. They were a little disconsolate. Didn't look like a team down just 4 points here at this stretch, with still a lot of time left in this fourth quarter.
Well, these are defending world champions. They'll muster up something.
Second down. Here's Turner running inside. Vilma tackles him forward for a couple of yards.
When you're a defending world champion, that says enough. But when you're the Atlanta Falcons, you have a chance to sweep the defending world champions, and that doesn't happen very often. But yeah, the Saints have a lot of firepower, but these Atlanta Falcons, you got to give them a lot of credit for hanging in there. And every snap is a fist fight. Every yard that is made tonight is a well-earned yard.
On 3rd and 8, Saints rush 3. Ryan, what a play. Knocked down by Malcolm Jenkins.
Boy, Malcolm Jenkins. This guy was basically a special teams player last year, the former #1 out of Ohio State. Watch the left side of your screen. Harry Douglas going down the field, and Malcolm Jenkins. Great ball skills.
Well, that was that cover two that the Saints played, the middle of the field open. Harry Douglas with a lot of room down the middle, but just outstanding coverage by Jenkins and the great ball skills when the ball's in the air.
Lance Moore stands on the 10-yard line. Michael Kanan punts. End over end. Moore catches it at the 10. Still 10.5 left. Drew Brees has been intercepted on back-to-back possessions. His team has fallen out of the league. The Super Bowl MVP bring his team back. Buildings hosted a couple of Super Bowls. The Georgia Dome, our aerial coverage tonight, brought to you by DirecTV. Falcons hope this is the road to this year's Super Bowl. Brees first down. Drop. Colston. What have the Saints been up to on offense? This is the potent New Orleans Saints offense. Hard to stop. They've started in very poor field position, which is the counter to what happened early in the game. And you see 4 consecutive punts to 2 interceptions. And if you think back, really, the only touchdown the Saints scored was on a short drive that was set up by a botched snap by Todd McClure, the Atlanta center. So they've not been able to move. This has been a night where the Atlanta defense is earning national respect. Thomas, -2. Pick a Falcon. He was in on the play.
Mike, Stephen Nicholas, excuse me, Jaws. The weak side linebacker just takes on the fullback and stuffs this play. Watch Stephen Nicholas stuff this play in the backfield, and Curtis Lofton cleans it up. It's going to get real loud now. Here comes John Abraham, number 55. Listen to this crowd.
Brees middle, Lance Moore, first down, 27, gain of 18. Dante Robinson tackle.
Mike, it starts with the pass protection. Critical situation, got to get the ball deeper down the field. Your O-line and backs must protect and throw in Jeremy Shockey, the tight end, in pass protection. That was a time Drew Brees had time in the pocket. You'll see right here, he could step up, clear vision down the field, and delivers the strike to Lance Moore.
Brees over the middle again to Moore. Was he touched? Marked down to the 39. Another first down. Gain of 12.
I like this move right here. Jump into the no huddle. Try to calm this Falcon defense down. They've been blitzing unorthodox blitzes throughout the night. Looks like the Saints are going to substitute and reload. But Lance Moore, I think at the end of the day, is Drew Brees' favorite target in key situations, Ron. He made a lot of big plays.
8.5 left. First down. Breeze. A second late was Grimes, and even though his shoe was thrown by Meacham, he hangs on.
If this Brent Grimes ran a short shuttle, you might not see it. Watch Grimes retreat and then drive on this throw. This guy is a game changer. I mean, he ended Tampa Bay's night a couple weeks ago with an unbelievable interception. I think he's got 5 for the year.
Correct.
Great quickness and ball skills from the young Brent Grimes.
Yeah, 5 interceptions, and when teams pick on him, they're not successful. Only 47% of the balls thrown at him are complete. That is terrific play at the corner spot.
2nd and 4 coming around. It's Henderson. Devery Henderson gets ahead of steam. Nice mix in there by Sean Payton to take it into Falcon territory.
You're exactly right, Mike. This is a nice counter play against a fast flow defense. Get them flowing hard to the defensive left and bring them back. This is what Sean Payton does. He's always got some of these creative plays, gimmicks and gadgets in his toolbox, and he will use them at the most opportune time.
Halfway through the quarter. Spinning run for Thomas. Gains about 4 yards. Mike Smith, the Falcons coach, has done a great job with this team, and they have been tough to beat at home and tough to beat when they get the lead. Smith makes an emphasis on the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter sacks. No penalties in the fourth quarter. People talk about it. His team has done it statistically over these last 3 years. Part of the reason that the Saints of 08, last team to erase a fourth quarter deficit against this team. Pierre Thomas runs inside the 40. Lofton was stripping at the ball. Corey Peters the tackle.
I think Sean Payton is going to play this like it's 4-down territory. 3rd down. It's a long 2 yards, it looks like to me. You're at the plus 38-yard line. Inside of 6.5 minutes. And when you give the Saints offense an extra down, that's when I dislike playing them the most. But I expect them to be in the 4-down territory.
Breeze out of the gun. First down catch. Robert Meacham. The clock will spin under 6 minutes. The mark is at the forward progress where the ball was, touching the 35. It's a first down.
It's just got to be a methodical drive. The Falcons have done a tremendous job not yielding a big play tonight. I don't know what the longest play is tonight. Probably the seam route we saw just a couple series ago. But they are forcing New Orleans to be patient and methodical. But I think the Saints are going to be in 4-down territory right here, Jaws.
Yeah, and the Falcons, they pride themselves in not getting a ball thrown over the top of their head in that secondary.
5.5 to go. Breeze. Good coverage downfield. Buying time. Breeze throws complete to Pierre Thomas. A tackle missed. Thomas, 2 great moves. Thomas took a shot. Hangs on to it at the 13-yard line. What a play by Pierre Thomas.
It's just Drew Brees' athleticism in the pocket. I mean, he's running that sluggo seam. He's going to throw it left, and he's looking for the seam. There's nobody there. Watch him look to his left and pump this ball as he looks for Jimmy Graham down the seam. Nobody there. I got to get out of dodge. I don't know how many plays Brees has made tonight with his athleticism.
How about Thomas, too, on the back end of this,
job.
guys? Oh, the hit he takes here. He's out. Bush is in. 1st and 10 from the 13. Breeze trying to set up the screen. Throws it back to Reggie Bush. In space. Reggie at the 10. Tripped up. Good play by Thomas Deku, the safety.
Well, Thomas Deku came out of the middle of the field and makes an unbelievable open field tackle on Reggie Bush, or that was going to the end zone. Once again, Drew Brees rolling to his right, finding Bush back out of the back of his left. It looks like Bush has nothing but space, and here comes Thomas Deku, and just by a shoestring makes the tackle.
I mentioned Pierre Thomas took that hard hit. Julius Jones comes in here as Bush comes out. I haven't called Jones on offense at all tonight. One of his first snaps.
Well, again, he's new to this system. Pass protection, critical in these situations. The way the Falcons been playing tonight, you got to believe they're going to bring some heat.
What a drive started back at the 10-yard line by the Saints. It is Jones with the carry. And Troy Bierman comes in, trips him by the ankles. We're under 4 minutes.
Boy, they're trying to run that ball right behind Jari Evans at right guard.
We're at the 6. It's a 4-point game. Is it still a 4-down territory? Or would you go for a field goal down here?
I think you're in 4-down territory with Sean Payton. I don't think there's any question with the guy calling plays for the Saints. He's going for it right here.
Thomas back in. Timeout New Orleans. They have 2 left, which will impact their strategy. It's harder to get the ball back on downs and use your timeouts now that you don't have 3. 3:28 to go.
Stuart Scott with you after the game. Sports Center, the GMC post-game report. All the highlights and analysis of this game that's going down to the wire. With 2 extra days, give Brett Favre a better chance at playing Tuesday night. And because the NFL moved the game to Tuesday, Pennsylvania's governor basically says our nation is getting softer, Mike. Can you believe that?
Nothing about that in the NFC South. This has been a tough physical game, start to finish. Falcons lead by 4. Each team 2 timeouts. 3rd and 3 New Orleans. Reggie Bush is the back. Jimmy Graham, the tight end's alone at the top. Breeze looks that way, goes that way. Touchdown, New Orleans! The rookie Jimmy Graham, who played 1 year of college football. When it matters most, the 4-year basketball player uses the size, sets the box out, and the Saints take the lead.
Well, you see it coming a mile away, Mike. They got Graham one-on-one with a safety, Moore. And Sean Payton told us this guy Graham is coming on. He's going to be the steal of the 2010 draft. As soon as Breeze saw Graham one-on-one with Moore, how about that drive?
And Witherspoon could not undercut the route. It was on the belt buckle and knocked through. Now we'll see what Matty Ice has in his veins.
A big extra point by Hartley makes it a 3-point game. To the point John just made, Sean Payton said in 4 or 5 years, that guy Jimmy Graham's going to be one of the top 4 or 5 players out of the draft, taken in the 3rd round, and he's proven it a couple of times here in the last few weeks. A big touchdown here. And the people watching, especially the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Giants, who are still stuck back in Wisconsin, trying to get back to blizzard-bound New York, they watch and their emotions ride up and down because they're rooting for the Falcons. Atlanta, with a win, is the #1 seed. Chicago's sitting on the 2. Philly. Bears have the tiebreaker over the Eagles. Eagles play Minnesota tomorrow. Rams, Seahawks for the division title on Sunday night. They're the Saints at 10-4, still needing a win here tonight or next week to get into the playoffs. And the Packers at 9-6 in control of their own destiny in the NFC, with the Bears coming to Lambeau late Sunday afternoon. So a lot of people around the NFC watching this. And for those guys who don't get the regional 1 o'clock game, who don't see the NFC South, because their national profile of teams like the Buccaneers and the Falcons.
Now we get to bring his team back when he's behind in the 4th quarter. I saw him do it against Cincinnati earlier. Then it was Ray Lewis hitting him right in the face. He threw a touchdown pass to Roddy White to beat the Ravens. Then against my old team, the Bucks. How about this throw to your left? This guy, Matt Ryan, has been in these situations before. And I think the strange thing about this young guy is this is what he likes the most about his profession. He loves crunch time. The pressure doesn't bother him.
Matt Giordano is injured for New Orleans. They'll look at him on the field as the injury timeout is here. We'll step out for a second with 3:19 to go. Last time these two teams played, an overtime field goal by that man, Matt Bryant, was the game winner. There he sits alone with his thoughts, wondering if he will be called on for the moment, the end of this drive. 3:19 left. The Falcons trail by 3. Atlanta has 2 timeouts. Matt Ryan, who has become known for his calm when the things are most tense, putting that to work into the test here. Stepping up in the pocket, Ryan taking off. First down, out of bounds.
You know, when you play too deep with man-to-man underneath, you don't account for the quarterback. And Matt Ryan saw the linebackers scatter. Take a look at the too deep. It's man-to-man underneath. There's nobody there for the quarterback. And Matt Ryan quietly has become one of the best improvisational quarterbacks in the NFC. He can run.
The thing now, Matt Ryan needs to think, get to about the 35-yard line, think field goal first. Then you take your shots at the end zone. A lot of time, 3-11, 2 timeouts.
The run was 20, his longest of the year. Again, the pocket collapses. Again, Ryan takes off. Uses his running back, Snelling. Minimal gain. Out of bounds, 3:04 to go. I asked Ryan with this whole Matty Ice thing, where does it come from? I said, both my parents. My dad, anything happened, my dad would say, okay, okay, okay. And go on to the next thing. And Mom the same way. He says it's his parents who have instilled this calm about him that has taken Mike Smith's team to so many late-game comebacks and victories.
The calm is great, Mike, but there's also a confidence, and I think that exudes this entire team.
Against the 3-man rush. Throwing lanes, but nobody open, so he tried to check it down to Snelling, who Marvin Mitchell had blanketed. Now we have 3rd down here.
Well, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, is rushing 3. 2 defensive ends. Alex Brown on the left, Will Smith on the right, Cedric Ellis up the middle. 3 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. They are playing a lot of coverage. Now we'll see at a clock stoppage what Greg Williams has in mind for the young quarterback.
Yeah, that's not his style, John. He likes to bring the heat. This might be the opportune time to do it.
You're 1 snap away from giving the ball back to Drew Brees. 42. Ryan goes the middle into coverage, incomplete. He tried to get to Harry Douglas. There was no opening whatsoever. And Atlanta with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning at the 2:52 mark should punt it away, and they will.
And a nice job by Scott Shanley dropping back into his coverage. Really tighten up the window for Matt Ryan to throw this football into. As you'll see right here comes a route across to Douglas, but it's Shanley who forces the ball to go out front of Douglas. Good drop, good depth in his drop. Shanley makes the play.
All right, Michael Kanan will punt it. Lance Moore is back. Great hang time. Moore calls for a fair catch. Secures it. 44-yard kick with 5 seconds of hang time. So 2 timeouts, 2:44, the 2-minute warning as well.
Well, this has been the Achilles heel of the Saints, really. They have not been a real good running team all year. And this is where you grab Jari Evans, you grab your other guard, Carl Nix, Jonathan Goodwin, you come up with your top 2 runs, and you say, let's grind. Let's knock these guys off the ball. 1 first down on the ground, and the game is over. Very important they make positive yardage here on first down so they can run it again. But I would not put anything past Sean Payton in terms of throwing the ball.
Yeah, John, they have become one-dimensional on offense tonight. 48 called passes, only 19 called runs.
He's going to throw it again.
From the 14, Breeze throwing. Shockey catching.
That's
Graham. Oh, it's on the ground. It's on the ground and free. The Saints recovered the ball. How about that? Oh, he pointed the wrong way. Falcon ball. That's unbelievable. Now they're going to have a conversation. First, let's look at Graham. The rookie is down.
He's down.
Yeah, down. His butt's down with him holding the ball. And New Orleans has timeouts and challenges. Yeah, his butt's on the ground. Sean Payton's already thrown the challenge flag.
He leads the league in challenges that are overturned this year. I think he's going to be right again.
New Orleans is challenging the ruling on the field of fumble.
Michael Jenkins went on the field already. I'm going to chat with Sean Payton. It's going to flip back. It's going to be New Orleans ball unless there's something we didn't see on that play.
How about the call? This Sean Payton, he's got more confidence, I tell you, than anybody I know. But He throws the ball backed up to his rookie tight end who's played 1 year of football. I think he's going to win this challenge, but they need a first down. And I know he'd like to run the ball, but the injury earlier to Pierre Thomas, the fact that Reggie's missed a lot of time, Ivory, their go-to runner's not active tonight. He just doesn't have a lot of candidates.
And John, they haven't run the football well. So if you're in a situation like this, who are you going to trust? Drew Brees. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, he's as good as he gets in these situations. Put the ball in his hands. You know, he's going to find somebody. I mean, he's made a couple mistakes tonight, but I would still think he'd be the better choice to get, you know, make a play on this offense right now when they need a key first down.
He didn't pick up a first down on that play. The ball was brought out to the 21-yard line. It was about a gain of 7 there. So it should be, as long as it upholds 2nd and 3. 2:36 left.
I don't think there's any question about the decision here.
The interesting part, and you said it right away, they're going to throw the ball there.
Well, you can see Drew
out.
Brees got into an open formation. One back, 2 receivers one way, 2 the other, and he canned it. He had a running play called, canned it to a quick pass. Here comes Ed Hockley. He'll tell us what the story is.
The runner was down before the ball came loose. Therefore, it's Atlanta's ball. 2nd down at the 21-yard line.
New Orleans ball.
There are no charge timeouts.
And that earlier timeout that the Falcons used on offense could really come back and haunt them right now.
Correction, it's New Orleans ball. I'm sorry. The ball was not fumbled. He was down by contact. Atlanta, New Orleans ball.
They'll mark it at the 21, so it's 2nd and a long 3 here with 2:36 to go. That happened in the field of play, so they start the clock. And it's interesting if Mike Smith uses a timeout or not here.
He's not going to do it.
I would have done that there and try to preserve the time on this side of the 2-minute warning.
You can tell this is a running play because Drew Brees is using as much time in the huddle as he can.
There's about a 10-second differential, Mike. They can run the play, and the Falcons call a quick timeout.
Yep, try to sneak it in. Better stop him, though. Here's a run up the middle for a first down by Pierre Thomas. And now they'll let it go down to the 2-minute warning. So the New Orleans Saints are a couple of plays away from getting within a game of the Atlanta Falcons and delaying for a week the clinching of the #1 seed. Atlanta has 2 timeouts. It's first down for New Orleans. If the Saints are stopped and if they run the ball, you'd have about 53 seconds left when you get the ball back in an optimum situation with no timeouts. That's the best case scenario for the Falcons. We talked about Atlanta trying to get the 1 seed. A New Orleans win, most importantly, puts them back in the tournament and in the playoffs. First down and a run. Pierre Thomas is trying to strip the ball. The gain's only a yard or so. There's a timeout with 1:55 to go.
See right now the Atlanta Falcons, they have John Abraham on the sideline. They've got all of their top run defenders out there on the field. Do not put it past this play caller to run a bootleg or one of those 90 flips where you fake it inside and toss the ball. But I think ramming the ball right at Atlanta, making them use their timeouts and punting the football, probably what Sean Payton is thinking right now. But they need to gain some favorable yardage here to set up a reasonable 3rd down. Because he knows the story about Matt Ryan as well as we do.
Haven't we seen people throw the ball in these situations a couple of times this year? We have. Just play into the hands of the team that's trailing.
I'd rather work the clock down and give Matt Ryan as little time as possible.
If Evans comes out, Brees will throw. Nobody open, checks it down to Thomas, who's got it, and is a yard. Well, that second effort, where's that mark going to be? What an effort by Thomas in that first down.
I can't tell you.
Wow. Well, first off, somebody's got to either stop the clock if you're Atlanta or stop it for a measurement. And Hockley stops it for a measurement at 1:36.
That's going to be a first down, it looks like.
Pierre Thomas, we said it at the top of the show. He is as valuable to the Saints as anybody. He knows exactly where to be in this passing game. And after the catch, Boy, he makes
Yeah,
a lot
he's
of
down there.
yards. They're going to make this. They got a good spot on this.
Yeah, his knee was down a yard back. You'll get a challenge from Mike Smith.
Well, it's the last 2 minutes. It would happen
that's
upstairs.
Right. Sorry about that. You're right.
Triggered
Upstairs.
by replay. It's a chain link short. Asking Ed Hockley if the clock's going to restart in the field of play. It will, and therefore wants a timeout. Sean Payton wants to know. Going to go upstairs and take a look at it.
He hopes they don't.
How about the
Timeout,
call?
Atlanta. That's their third and final timeout.
There you go. You can... Where is the ball when his knee is down?
It's a yard short of the first
Yeah,
down.
it's at the 34, not the 35.
Clearly down there. We'll make it third and a yard, not third and inches. But how about the call? Second down. I mean, you gotta love Sean Payton. I mean, you talk about a riverboat gambler. He's not going to sit there and play it safe. He's going to try to ice the game with his offense.
That's not what you said a minute ago.
Hey, I wouldn't have done it. Maybe that's why I'm up here.
And we're talking about reviewable and non-reviewable plays. Relative to a first down, a spot is reviewable. Since they didn't get a first down as called on the field, it thus becomes not a reviewable play. Only to reverse a first down that was called on the field or not. So you won't look at it, and it's just inches.
They're running right.
Breeze, Thomas, almost like a goal line plunge to get the first down, and the New Orleans Saints are in business. And they're back in the tournament.
That guy right there, what an emotional roller coaster. I'd have been a basket case. You throw a couple interceptions, they show no fear whatsoever. Sean Payton, some great calls. There's Joe Vitt, his assistant head coach. They're getting healthy. The return of Pierre Thomas was huge tonight.
The New Orleans Saints are going to come into Atlanta, earn a split, hand Matt Ryan just his second loss as a starting quarterback in this building. They are a game behind the Falcons with 1 to go. The Saints host Tampa Bay. Atlanta's got a great chance to win it all in the NFC against Carolina in here on Sunday, a team with the worst record in the NFL. But you never know. Did you see Cincinnati beating San Diego last week?
If you know anything about John Fox, he's just shaking his head right now going, you know what? Anything goes next Sunday. He would rather do nothing more than go out in style by beating his arch rival, the Atlanta Falcons.
And the Giants, who are still sitting in Wisconsin trying to get back to New York, and the Buccaneers watch, and their hopes are dashed as the Saints return to the playoffs. They'll be defending their championship in the postseason again. 17-14. They see each other in a few weeks, guys.
They just might.
Michelle Tafoya standing by with Drew Brees.
Thank you, Mike. And Drew Brees congratulating a lot of people. Can you describe what it was like to be under duress all night long?
I mean, that's part of it, you know. I mean, it's the ebb and flow of the game. It's, you know, sometimes you're getting a clean pocket, and, you know, sometimes they're getting after you. I mean, they've got a great pass rush with their 4 down, and obviously when they bring pressure, you know, they were able to get some, you know, get in the backfield today. But I got to hand it to our guys. We were able to get the ball out for the most part, or at least avoid a lot of those negative plays, and in the end, we found a way to win.
Indeed, you did. And the comeback after the 2 back-to-back interceptions by defensive linemen, which you rarely see, what was going through your mind as you engineered that next drive?
Well, I was telling myself, obviously put that behind you. You have to, especially in a game like this, an environment like this. Just got to stay poised and composed and find a way to just convert first downs and go down the field and score. And you know, the fact was it was a 1-possession game, and we had to go 90 yards, but we did it effectively, efficiently, run and pass, and some guys made some plays down the stretch.
What is this team's mindset right now? You're back in the playoffs. You seem to be gaining momentum. Guys are getting healthy. What's your outlook like?
It feels good. Obviously, you just want to punch your ticket to the big show, and we've done that. You know, Carolina needs to do us a favor next week and beat Atlanta so we can be the 1 seed. But other than that, you know, we're just going to continue to play, try to get a little bit better each and every week, and, you know, get geared up for these playoffs.
Drew, congratulations.
Thanks, Michelle.
It's been quite a 2010 for Drew Brees. Won the Super Bowl. There, that picture with his son. A new child born to he and his wife. Sportsman of the Year, AP Athlete of the Year. and a 90-yard drive here at the end of the game to cap it off. 17-14, New Orleans with the victory. We thank all the women and men on our great Monday Night Football crew as the 41st season of Monday Night Football comes to a close. For Michelle Tafoya, Susie Colbert, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Mike Tirico, thank you for sharing the ride in 2010.